Today I prepared a presentation on investors. We never really discussed that as a part of your business plan for 2023. I'm not saying jump on it right away. I'm just laying options for everyone. So it might be a good fit for one client, might not be good for another. I've used this lead source for years myself in Pittsburgh, and I'm still selling in Pittsburgh remotely the properties from investors. I don't even travel there. That's the beauty of working with investors. These are a long-term relationship. They buy a lot, they sell a lot, and we need to find out how we can take a benefit of it. The beauty of working with investors, you don't have to buy leads online. You don't have to spend money on investors, no more than just something more or less basic like tools, nothing like buying leads. So let's jump right in and start from where to find investors and how to work them. In order for you to find investors, we need to first start thinking as an investor. If you match their mindset, then you will magnet them to yourself. If you show them that you understand how they think and how they act, and your behavior and your marketing will align with theirs, you will get unlimited amount of leads. And these leads gonna buy and sell over and over again. So let's talk about sources, where to find investors. And first, the lead source would be the Association of Realtors, local Association of Realtors. I believe it appears in every single city. They have National Association of Investors and local association. Literally very similar, like Realtors Association. I know I missaid. Association of Investors, boards of investors. They call it a different way, but in every single city, there is an association where investors get together. Typically, it's monthly or bi-monthly meetings. So I would strongly recommend attend these meetings and meet with them face to face. For the most part, investors, they're really nice people. Even if first thing that comes to my mind, investors are greedy. They hunting for deals, but we're also hunting for deals. There is nothing wrong with it. So attending the seminars, attending the boards of investors meetings, and meet with them and talk to them, not necessarily, hey, I'm a realtor, I can sell your house. I bet they have 100, if not 1,000 offers like that a month. We need to start showing them the value, what we can do. Do we understand the ROI, the cash flow? Do we understand the construction process? Can we connect them with wholesalers? Can we get them the deals? What we can do on the seller side, what they need. If they flippers, they want to get the highest amount of money in the shortest period of time. How can we deliver, right? So with all this being said, we need to bring something to the table when we attend these meetings, something more than just the business card. I would suggest a couple things. First, we can make a list of local contractors and say, Mr. Investor, I want to bring value to the table. Here's the list of contractors that I work with, or that I connected with. If you would like, you can use it. I would strongly recommend, if you're going to go that path, and I'm a big fan of niches. Everyone should take their niche in this business and not be like, I can sell anything I can, but I'm more of an investor type of realtor. I'm more of, let's say, first-time home buyer, military realtor. Same thing with investors. If they come to your website, they want to see the information that relates to them. They want to see the list of wholesalers. They want to find a deal. They want to be on that list and connect with them and get these deals. Number two, they want to see your videos. where you're talking about numbers. If you go to construction sites and create a series of how to, let's say, rewire a house or plumb the house, and more of a construction side of this business, investor would definitely appreciate. I'm not saying you have to be doing that yourself, but you have to put that knowledge in. Say, Mr. Investor, I know what knob and tube wiring is and how insurance rates will increase if you're not going to replace it. Or if you would say, what's the difference between PVC piping versus PEX piping? This way you'll deliver your knowledge in construction. This is what they're looking for. They get contacted by hundreds of investing realtors, and you need to be unique there. And you need to go a little deeper than just meeting with them saying, hey, if you want to list the house, I can do it. Because they have a lot of options. And if you're going to go that route, you most likely going to be bidding on the commission side. But if you build a relationship, investors are the sweetest people in the world. They don't want to beat you on commission. They will pay you whatever you want because they see value in your services. They don't want to hassle and make hundreds of calls to buyers. They want to find the next deal, fix it up, and list it with you. Make sense?
So what do you mean about construction sites? Like, you're not talking about new construction, right? You're talking about like renovating homes that they're wanting to buy distressed and fix up.
Well, that's what most of the investors do. They buy beat up houses or they build houses, and this is how they make money. Very rarely investors buy turnkey properties. Again, even if you're talking about turnkeys, we can talk about Airbnb. How's that side working? It doesn't have to be only construction, but my point is we need to bring something in value on video on your website and say, hey, this is the scenario with Airbnb. I have cleaners cost that much money. Here is the maintenance guy who costs that much money. Airbnb charges that much. We can take your house and rent it at X. This is your cash flow. This is your ROI. Do the calculation. They love numbers and say, like, hey, this is your option for Airbnb. This is your option conventional renting. And if you lay this around them, they will be like, this realtor knows what he's talking about. I want to work with you because there is a meeting in the minds and we talk in the same language. So this is why I'm not saying jump right into investors, because it's a process. It's not something that you start doing and you get the result right away. But when you start getting results, then they will follow you for the rest of your life, because they're not going to quit. They're going to buy and sell in any single market. And especially right now, it's a wonderful time. Everyone's scared. Everyone wants to give up their properties for cheap, and investors want to jump on it. And if you'll be the realtor who represent them on the buy side, they will fix it up and sell it with you. Or if they buy and hold investors, fine. For the most part, they buy in properties even sight unseen. I work with investors from all over the country. I sell them to investors in California, in Washington, in Texas, and I never even met them. I just build a relationship through this connection, through this value proposition. This is the next one I wanted to talk about, the providing them this value, why they should choose you versus your competition. They want to save on commission for sure, and they know about these flat fee listings. And the lowest I've seen, it was $100. $100 compared to 6%. You need to show them why you're worth 6%, right? So how are we going to show value proposition? Number one, we need to provide them what they want. They want to have deals, right? So it's not necessarily just setting them up in MLS like you normally would with a buyer, and like, all right, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, a large backyard in this neighborhood. This is more of a finding a deal for them, even on MLS. But if you would scan the MLS, take your camera, take your phone, and go to that place, record the surroundings, and send to the whole list of your clients. You can find a nice deal, and they come up right now like crazy, these sweet deals, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 deals. You go there, you record, you make your comments. Hey, Mr. Investor, look here's a plumbing patch. Most likely something's leaking there. Look, the wiring is dated. The roof most likely over 20 years old, so consider replacing the roof. It will cost you, let's say, $8,000. If you record that video once and send to all the pool of investors that you're going to find on these conferences, Facebook, I bet every single city got investors Facebook group. So we can collect leads from Facebook. And the best way to collect leads is, hey, I have a off-market deal. Would you like me to email it to you? Send me your email. Comment your email in the comments below. Boom, you have a list of investors ready to talk to you. And then you collect the emails. You can do some research and find their numbers. Typically, they don't hide their numbers. Typically, they advertise because they want to get the deal. They advertise themselves. So, unique value proposition. So, that's what they are looking for. The deals. They're looking for rehab part. They're looking for the construction side because they constantly looking for more help. On construction side, they always looking for a new contractor, better contractor, cheaper contractor, save money on materials. So just you can do what I've done, a trip to Home Depot type of show where you go to Home Depot with your camera and like, hey, here is the appliances on sale. Here is 2x4s on sale. This is, let's say, vanities on sale. If you buy 3 toilets, you get the 4th for free. And they will go and buy it and store it in their warehouse because they can. Typically, investors, they don't work with a couple $1,000. They can do it. But if they buy something at discount from your video, from your lead, then they will absolutely going to remember you and return you the favor. Make sense? So with this unique value proposition, if you're going to go that route, then that's important for you to surround them and be that realtor for investor. So your company website not going to really impress them. So we need to provide them a little more than just find homes on MLS on my IDX search website. So it's completely different thing. It can be mixed together. I'm not saying that if you're working with investors, you're never going to call for sell by owner, but I've seen so many realtors, and actually, if you remember Brian Tessier from Pittsburgh, he's sustaining his multi-million-dollar business purely on investors. And this is what you asked me. Are they only fixing? No, they building. They building houses and they're listing them with Brian, high-end properties in top neighborhoods in Pittsburgh. And all he does, he shows up showing all his bells and whistles videos and drones and such and list these homes and sell them because everyone wants to get a brand new, top-notch, remodeled, beautiful home. Easy, right? So moving forward, marketing. What we need to do to market to them. Because one thing, we collect the lead. Second, we show them, well, yes, I know about construction. I know about working with wholesalers. And by the way, if they want to work with wholesalers, you better let them do the deal together and you give up your commission there because charging them, because wholesalers, they don't pay commission, right? If you would let them do the deal, sign up for as many properties, for as many subscriptions from investors, from wholesalers, and send them to investors. Not direct them, but send them that deal. Hey, Mr. Brian, I noticed that the home that the wholesaler sent me fits in your criteria. Would you like to take a look at it? And send it. let them do the deal. You might want to meet with them for a showing, and it's never going to hurt for you to meet investor an extra time and show him that wholesale deal, and just walk through and give your opinion on it, your opinion on after repair value, your opinion on construction cost, and that would be enough for him to either sell it with you. But even don't worry about the flipping side. Think about, well, you help them to buy the property from wholesale. You're not doing anything more than just clicking forward the email, maybe meeting with them once. But then when they find themselves a property, they're going to call you and say like, hey, Nathan, hey, Rose, hey, Bettina, can you write an offer for me? Wouldn't you write an offer on a house that you don't even have to show? Write an offer, put it in escrow, cash, no contingencies. That's the favor they're going to return to you. And I can tell they will, because it worked for me and it will work for you if you decide to go that route. The other thing, again, for those who joined a little later, we were talking with Ruben, it's not something that for you to jump right on. This is the planning part of the year, and I'm just adding that lead source as an option. If you hate calling feasibles and expires, then that's an option for you to implement in your business. You can choose working with investors and don't do anything else, and you will survive through this difficult times of changing market, because it looks like it's going to be here for a little bit. From what I see, it's not going to go away anytime soon, at least until spring. So we need to get through it somehow. And the only way is, like I explained on my last group coaching call, we need to continuously adding people to your pipeline. So investors, that's pretty much endless pipeline, right? Investors, I bet in any city you'll find at least a couple thousand investors. If you work with 2,000 investors, you don't have to do anything else. 2,000, that's minimum that I've seen, even in the smaller towns. In the bigger, there's a lot more than that. So what I would do to market to them. First, on Facebook, not even mentioning what we already discussed, go we need to existing Facebook groups and start getting leads from them. Create your own mastermind group or investors group and continuously post there to attract your investors to you. So what that would be interviews with top investors in town, right? So they can give you some input. I had Josh on the other call, was quite some time ago. I think it was at the beginning of summer, where Josh Adamak, where he shared with us his side. He's a top investor in Pittsburgh, and everyone knows him. You bring him on the board, you talk to him, you interview, and everyone gonna see, hey, this realtor talking to the top producing investor in town. I want to work with this realtor as well, right? Number two, again, you produce the content that's interesting. You can connect with investors and do the walkthroughs and do like before and after show. So you might connect with 3, 4, 5 investors very tightly and say, hey, do you mind if I'm gonna walk through the construction site, through the process of renovation, demo part, then rough in, then drywall, then finishes, boom, finished product. That shows to the public that you really first stayed in touch with investors. It's not just one-time video, but you're doing it continuously. And number two, you know what you're talking about. You walk through and say like, hey, we put in this type of piping, this type of electric, this type of HVAC, this brand of furnaces and AC better than this one, and so forth. So that's something that will attract them for sure. Number three, posting these coupons, absolutely wonderful way. And you can sign up for coupons from Home Depot and Lowe's. They will be emailing it to you. And then you say, hey, Mr. Investor, if you want to get that coupon, and the cool part that these coupons, they can be used as many times as you want. They're not unique coupons. And you post it on the group. And investors will come back over and over, even if it's $20 off, they will come back just to check before they shop if you posted a new coupon. All right? So that's that. Then obviously your YouTube show where you talk about specifically to investors. It can be mixed together. If you're going to talk to investors, what's the earnest money deposit? They click off your video in 10 seconds or less. They don't care about earnest money deposit. They know they've done that many times. But if you're going to talk about changing trends, changing kitchen trends, let's say financial part, connect them with local lenders. They always looking for better deals. And I can tell they don't like to work with Rocket Mortgage or Bank of America. They want to find local businesses, local banks who would provide them better rates, portfolio loans, where they can refinance under LLC under their own terms. So consistently bring value to them with contractors, wholesalers, bankers, sharing your knowledge, giving them tips on how to find a better deal. Tell them, talk about marketing in your videos, in your YouTube video, or you can record YouTube and share it on Facebook as well in your group. So what I would do is talk about marketing their services to general public. So who's doing investors so far? I know, Nathan, you're doing investors. So what do you do to help them find deals? Share with me. I want to talk to you. I want to make this more interactive than just me talking for half.
Yeah, so I would say don't stop calling your expireds or for sale by owners, because that might be a great deal for an investor depending on what your investor is looking for.
Good. Anything else?
Basically just going out and, well, actually connecting with wholesalers is a huge one. That's going to bring them the best deals.
Okay, couple more things. Bandit signs. Those cheap signs, we buy ugly houses. Tell them that you either advise them to do that or even do it for them. If you connect with the investor, tell them, all right, I'll buy 50 signs and I will promise you that all the leads will go to you. And good news is, if that investor doesn't want these signs, you'll get leads, even those least ugly homes. But in this market, I would say let's take everything we can find, right? Number two, this yikes type of mailers, yellow sticky notes, where you can order them. It looks like it's handwritten, but it's actually machine written, where it's just, hey, I will buy your house, give me a call and number.
I'm actually doing that with one of my investors right now. We're starting that up.
Wonderful. So tell them that you're going to do something like that. And again, same thing. You're going to say, hey, I'm representing. In your case, you have to explain that you're a realtor. And for the most part, as far as I know, in every single state, you need to state that you're a realtor with this brokerage, and this is your brokerage phone number. Even still, you're going to say, I represent an investor. He will make, and you talking for your investor, he will make you an offer. He will buy it cash. You don't have to pay a commission. He will pay my commission and give that breakdown to potential buyer. And then you show up in front of, potential seller. And then you show up in front of potential seller and say, all right, Mr. Seller, do you want to sell it to my investor? Great. He would not pay you the retail value. You don't have to pay my fees. You don't have to pay for repairs. You don't have to pay for anything, but you'll sell it for a lot less than the market value. Would you be interested in hearing what I can do to market your home and sell it at the retail, or you just want that convenience? And some of them want that convenience. And if they buy it below market value, you don't even have to ask for commission. They will give it to you. I mean, it happened to me so many times. I sold a house to investor, and then I receive a check, and I'm like, "What is that for?" It's just a little bonus. You did a good job. Because it's a relationship, and not always you want to put that in writing. If it's an easy deal for you, help them out. They will return your favor. All right. So what else? Email marketing. So we kind of touched on it. If you forward the email from wholesalers, that's the first step. Number two, go to MLS, find these ugly homes, record the video, upload it to YouTube, send it if you're using Follow Up Boss, send it through Follow Up Boss and see who opens it. Who opens it, you give them a call. Hey, what do you think about the house? Let me schedule a showing with you. And you either sell that house, that ugly house on MLS, and you collect some commission there, or at least you stay in touch with them. All right. The website, like I mentioned before, the website, if you use the website, then it's supposed to be designed for investors. If you have two, if you, let's say, have a regular website, an investor website, that's fine. But if you have just a normal realtor's website and you're trying to bring investors there, you're going to turn them down. They will say that you're just trying to make the commission. You're not really following that idea of investing and getting deals and selling, buying low, selling high. You need to continuously doing it. So if you don't have the website, send them to your YouTube. And again, YouTube for investors and YouTube for general public, two different YouTubes. If you just have a regular YouTube, don't send investors there. Send investors to the place where they can engage with you. Make sense? All right, types of investors. We have several types of investors. So I mentioned before wholesalers. So investors who are hunting for deals, they don't have any cash on them, but they still investors. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get water. So wholesalers, they don't have cash, but there is nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean that we don't have to work with them. They actively hunting for deals. They're trying to get the property. Is it clear for everyone what wholesalers mean? Should I explain? No?
Yes, explain.
Okay, good. So wholesalers, what they do, they hunting for deals, they grinding to find off-market property, they get it under contract extremely low or below the market value. They don't have any money to purchase it. So they reselling the contract. They releasing their contract for a fee. And fees can be pretty high. I've seen it as high as 50 grand. When the wholesaler got the property under contract for $7,000, and then he released the house and he sold it to an investor who actually gonna flip it for 57. So that's how they make money. So they make an offer, they put funny number in the earnest money deposit, like $10, and these people, owners of distressed properties, they take it in. They won't get rid of it. All right. So we need to connect with wholesalers so we can get these deals that we will pass to the end sellers, to the end owners, to the investors. So you can make some money there if you'd like, but my opinion, let them work the deal through without your commission, because they will return you a favor, especially if it's your first deal. Number two, buy and hold. Buy and holds, they three different types. Most common buy and hold is subject to investors. Do you know what subject to is? All right, subject to is when an investor taking over the mortgage from the current owner without paying him anything in. They not paying off their mortgage. They not paying them anything is a sale. So sale technically doesn't happen. The only thing that happens, they transfer in title and they keep in their own mortgage. So the trick behind it, how they keep in and they're walking away without the due on sale clause, they typically creating the trust where the trust name matches the name of the owner, and they're transferring the property into a trust and they become the trustee. So bank doesn't really realize that property turned to the trust as long as all the payments current. Typically, they're paying off the delinquency on the loan and letting the homeowner just to walk away from the deal, or giving them like a couple $1,000 just to sweeten the deal. But this is how it works. So they pretty much taking the property without any investment. Sometimes they give a couple thousand, sometimes they need to pay the delinquency, and then they taking the property over in the form of trust, and they becoming the trustee. Very common way of taking over. Number two, less common, conventional investors who are buying investment properties, fixing them up, refinancing. That's the second one, and then they keeping them for a long time as an investment property. Again, some of them do this way, some of them don't. And the third one, obviously flippers. These are completely different type of investors where they always hunting for these fixer-uppers. And moreover that, I've seen investors flipping houses without even fixing them. If you can find a property and prove the investor, especially in this market, that they can buy it and flip it without fixing it, and there is enough room in equity, then that will be a win. You can say, all right, well, why wouldn't we write an offer $20,000 less, $50,000 less? How long would it take to write an offer? I would say 15 minutes. What would you say? Right? Write 10 offers. 10 offers, if one will end up in closing, you're already making your commission. I mean, you can write 4 offers an hour. In 10 hours, you can write 40.
So typically, I just
I'm writing offer machine. Say it again, Nathan.
So I would just do a verbal offer, and then
Verbal offer doesn't work that well. When I receive a verbal offer, I don't really take it seriously. If you don't have enough time to write an offer, present it, who's the buyer, what's his financial situation, proof of funds, date we closing company, etc., etc., etc. If you don't have time for it, then I don't have time to present it either. I mean, I kind of obligated, but I'm like, hey, I got the lowball offer. Do you want to hear about it? But if it's a written offer, first, you absolutely obligated to deliver all the terms of the offer. Second, I feel like you're serious. My property sits on the market, it's not selling. I get the lowball offer. All right, I'll negotiate. I'll try to work with my seller to lower the price, try to bring you up, have that meeting of mind somehow. But verbal offers, I mean, they quick, but they're not as effective. And then if you're going to make an offer after offer after offer after offer and do that for 3-4 months with the investor and nothing going to end up in closing, the investor going to lose interest in you. They're gonna have another realtor approach them. And they're going to be like, all right, it doesn't work with this realtor. I want to try this one. Even if it's not your fault, but it's kind of yours because you don't write formal offers. They have to be committed enough to put the signature. Doesn't take that long to put an electronic signature on a document, send you the proof of funds, and for you to have all the paperwork prepared. So they need to be more motivated, and you show that you put in the work into the deal. You showing them that you hustling enough to find that good deal or negotiate to the best price for that. Does it make sense?
yeah, that makes more sense.
All right. Okay. So to finalize this call, what I wanted to share, actually, one more thing before I finalize it. Again, the beauty of it, if you work with investors, then guess what? You become investor. You start buying these great deals and flipping them using even investors' money. You can get what's called hard money loan, and you use that. If you work with investors, you're definitely going to connect with hard money lenders, and you'll find a deal on MLS that's like ridiculously low, and you'll start seeing these ridiculously good deals very, very soon. I would say in February, they're going to pop up in MLS. And you're like, oh, I'm going to get this house. I'm going to have someone to paint it, and they're going to put it back and make my 10 grand with no efforts. That's something, and you don't even have to use your own money. You just have to come to hard money lender. And again, for those who don't know what's hard money lenders, that these are people who are lending their own cash. High interest rates, typically they charge points. It's not as good as going to the bank, but it's cash. So they will give you their cash. They will put the lien on the property. So you have to pay them first before you do anything else. It typically balloon payment, no more than 2 years. Typically it's 1 year. But if you feel it's a good deal, you go to this type of hard money lender, borrow the money, buy the house under LLC, put it back, paint it, put it back on market, and make your 10 grand without any efforts. It's not gonna take that much of your time. Close, list, sell. All right, well, before I finalize, do you have any questions? How was the presentation? Did you learn something new today?
Yeah.
All right. Any questions on how to get into this? Are you considering this type of, I know Nathan definitely considering getting into real estate investors world. Anyone else?
What's a good resource to like see all those different things you talked about, the wholesaler and the, I can't remember what you said, the number 2 type buyer. Well, I know it's you.
Bigger Pockets is also amazing. You ever looked that up?
Bigger Pockets?
Yeah, Bigger Pockets. A lot of investors, the participant of fortune builders. So you might want to research their database. This is extremely expensive program, but investors paying for that. So they have database. You can tap into that. Go to one of their seminars. I bet they all over the country doing seminars, trying to get investors on board with their program. They have the structure and everything. I'm talking about how to become investor, how to build their portfolio, and that's a pretty good program. It's just crazy expensive.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not interested in anything. I was thinking more along the lines of a book.
Well, try this one. This one, really, really good one.
Okay.
Jack Cummings. Yeah, he breaks it down to everything we just discussed today. If you decide to go that route, he will lay out for you in one reading, so you'll be more comfortable, not just 40 minutes of presentation, but more deeper into these type of investors, these type of lead sources. So that's what I have for you today. Again, don't jump on it until you feel it's your thing. Because what I want to finalize this call with, I'm laying out all the options for you. It doesn't mean that you have to jump on them all. For some people, it's a good thing. For others, it's not. You have to like what you do, because this is how you connect with investors and any other lead sources that you work with. I know that if you don't like the construction, if you don't like this whole idea of flipping and hustling and getting this investment projects moving forward, then there's many other things you can do. Like, I'm no longer interested in investors. I'm not doing them here in Miami. I'm here focusing on relocations. but I've been doing this for quite some time in Pittsburgh. This is why I know them so well. So it's something that you have to love. There's a lot of money there, but if you do it for money, then it's not going to work. You need to really like it.